Good evening. Bonsoir. Bonsoir tout le monde. I know it's a little bit late, but I did want to do at least a little bit of an update. Of course, I intended on doing it earlier this evening, and 100 million things came up. But I hope everybody's doing well. Please stay safe out there. It's been so snowy. I'm done with the snow. Did you know it is officially fall, or at least meteorological fall, autumn, until December 20th or 21st, whenever the winter solstice is. So I'm like, excuse me, I still want the rest of my fall. No more snow. And it can warm up a little bit too. I wanted to remind you all about our petition to oops, oh Lord, hold on, I gotta open it now. Please sign our petition calling for Mayor Clark to resign and also for a forensic audit for the city of Harvey. Yeah, I thought I had it, but hold on, I'll get the link again. Hello. Hey, French. I was thinking about you. I was wondering if you were going to show up. Excuse me, I know it's late, but good to see you. So this is as a reminder. Ooh, and I should actually I'll put the link in the chat again. So please do sign and share. Again, you do not need to be a Harvey resident to sign the petition. And you can even be anonymous if you are a local and you are afraid of retaliation. So that is how the petition is designed. 1 a.m. Right, it's 12. I'll say it's 12:15 here. Yeah. So once again, that is the petition asking for Mayor Clark to resign and for a forensic audit of Harvey finances, which we need both, definitely. I know some people were a little worried and they had asked me, they're like, okay, but what if if he does resign and our campaign works, then what's going to happen? Because is it going to be bad where the city, because as far as we can tell, then what occurs is the city council votes on one of the members there, the alderman, to be interim mayor until the 2027 election. And people were saying, yeah, but then Clark could just still control things behind the scenes. Hey, anything's possible, you never know, but I figure it's good to at least try to make some change. Otherwise, we have to still put up with this guy for at least a whole year plus, So it's like, oh no. Can't be worse than having Clark if he was. Yeah, that's what I figure. Like even if one of his 4 alder yes-men take over, honestly, I don't think that they would be able to keep good control over the city. And I think, at least it gives us a chance, right? A hope for some sort of change versus right now, this mayor he's in hiding. We have no accountability. We have no updates. We have nothing. It's really, really bad. So please sign that petition. Oops, I wanted to show it to you. I put the link in the chat. Sign it and share. And you don't have to be a Harvey resident to sign. I wish I could do that. All right, so it looks like this, all right? Town of yes, the city is shut down. And we've almost yeah, no, I know what you meant. Even with the horrible winter storms that we've been getting. So I've just found out a few days back that the mayor laid off 4 more Harvey firefighters. So according to one of the firefighters that I spoke with, that means we have 20 firefighters that have been laid off. I mean, that is very rare. You really never, even in towns or areas that do have financial crises, it's very rare to see that. So it appears that Mayor Clark's strategy has been to do a media blitz saying, "Oh, Harvey's in trouble. We need a state bailout. None of it's my fault. It's all mayor. It's all the fault of businesses that didn't pay property taxes, and it's all former Mayor Kellogg's fault. But I want to bail out. And in the meantime, I'm shutting down the city. And, basically he's laid off almost half of city staff now. I mean, it's crazy because it was a little more than 40%, but then we just lost 4 more. So, I mean, this is unprecedented. I've never reported on anything like this. We maybe have that 25 firefighters for a 5,000 person, imagine. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Because you're like a 5,000 person town and you have 20, right? Yeah, I know. It's crazy. So, and I'm concerned. I know the union is doing their thing, the firefighters union, with grievances and complaints and everything. Because I said, now wait, is that legal? Because I would think I have to look it up. I haven't researched it, but I would think legally with the state of Illinois, don't you have to have at least, if you're going to have fire coverage, you have to have certain amount of people per shift. So I like I said, I don't even know how that is legal. Anyway, it's crazy, man. So please sign and share the petition. There are provisions in the petition where you can tell us who you are. So it says, it says what we're asking for. And then you can say like whether you want your name to be held confidential or not. And then you can tell us, are you a resident, a city employee, a business owner, a city contractor, a vendor, an out-of-town supporter, or other. Address info is just if we need to do verification that's mostly for residents to confirm, the number of residential signers and stuff. But I mean, that's about it. And then if you optional public comment to be shared, but that's up to you. So it's really short, but please do sign. I wanted to share a short video that I did the other day. Did I share it on Facebook? Come on, I know I did. Where is it? Oh, sorry, it's not a live. That's right. I'm like, where's my video? So keep in mind, this is the first storm of the season. So who knows what it's going to be like. I'm grateful that public works employees, at least some of the plows were out. I don't know if they salted a lot, but I did see a lot of the streets got plowed. I was shocked, given that we've almost have half of the city staff laid off. But this is only the first storm, and it's not even winter yet. It's fall. So Idro says, "Ha ha ha! I don't think Clark cares about Illinois laws." No, obviously he doesn't. Yeah. So I think All McHugh said there will be snow Friday. Yeah, there was more snow today. I'm not happy. See, you guys are used to that French. Or Idro. I remember when I lived in the Boston area, one time the guy that I was dating at the time, and he was a French speaker too. We both studied French. Actually, he speaks a lot of languages. He's really good with languages. But we took a drive up to Montreal, and in Vermont and in Montreal, which is like southern Quebec, borders Vermont and New York State and everything. It was, I think we went around Halloween, I want to say. Was it Halloween? Something like that. But yeah, like they had already had snowstorms. I was like, oh my God. Like here, usually I guess we're fortunate because people will complain if they live in Florida, about the cold here, but really we don't get intense cold and snow usually until end of December into January. January and February are the worst. But so this is not, I feel like this is not quite normal for us. It's too early for me, man. You already have almost 2 feet. Right. Because I love Montreal. Besides practicing my French, I like to visit there because like many Canadian cities, they are adept at handling ice and snow. So they have, the city pays for little for these little like machines that, you know, they clear the sidewalk. And so I don't think are they plows? I don't know. But they're the little plows, but then I've also seen those machines that have like the spinning brushes that clear the snow from the sidewalk to make sure that people can, you know, can still be out and about. So I'm like, allez, Montreal, very impressed. And also they have a pretty decent underground tunnel network. We do have the Pedway in Chicago, but Montreal, I don't know how it compares size wise, but Montreal has a lot, you know, like they have underground malls, and they have like a little you know, cité souterraine, like the underground city in Montreal for the winter. So you don't even have to be outside if you don't want to be. Yeah, and the métro, exactly. So the sidewalk shovelers, yeah, which is cool because we don't have that here. The cities will not shovel private sidewalks. Or I'm sorry, they're all public, but they won't shovel the sidewalks typically in front of private buildings. That's what I meant to say. So this was my update the other night that I did. Just showing you what the streets look like and what we're going through. Hey everybody. All right, it is Saturday here. We've got the big snowstorm. I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of an update. We do have, it looks like this is a city plow coming by. Despite the city shutdown here in Harvey, Illinois, and you know, not really seeing the mayor or his allies, it does look like that we're still getting some work done. So thank you. So bravo, thank you,
That was
Harvey Public Works staff that are working. That was the plow, one of the plows. So he was plowing. This is fire station number 1, which is, I think this is the only fire station that's being used right now. This is the main fire station in downtown Harvey. But you know, we have, I think, what, 4? And 3 are normally used. The 4th one, I think, has been closed for a long time. Overtime to keep our streets clean. I just stopped by Fire Station 1 to check on these guys. Just found out we had 4 more layoffs, so the total number of layoffs are now 20. 20 firefighters have been laid off. Let me take a look here real quick to see. Okay, good. Yeah, he's going down. So I'm just on Center and 155th. I'm sorry, 156th. And now we're going to take. Just wanted to show you a little bit, you know, take a short ride and see how things are looking here. So that definitely helped. Look at, we did that whole side of the street here on Center. If you can park on your, off the street in a garage or something, now is a good time to do that because it will help the plows to be able to plow. So please do keep that in mind. Here I am at the post office at 155th Center. There is the train station is down there. So it does look like let's see, did they do a little bit here on 155th? Okay, yeah, so they've been down here. They have been down here. And you can see, like, that's one of the big old houses. 155th has a lot of beautiful old large homes. It's definitely a winter wonderland. So please be careful. Let me see. What did you say? No apologies showed us the other day a fire station on the other side of a railroad. Was that in Harvey? Or where was that, Ethel? If there's a train, the firefighters are going to be blocked. No, not there, because that is the old Illinois Central line, which, since you're in Canada, actually, it'd be interesting for you to know. I wish it were still Illinois Central, but it was acquired by Canadian National. And I hate all these mega corporations and companies that are ruining the world. But yeah, so they own it now, but it's an elevated line, so it doesn't block traffic. Storm for you, a normal day for us. Well, like I said though, like if this were in January, it'd be fine. But like in this, that was November. It's like, please,
you go out. It's very dangerous.
Not ready
If you
for it
need
yet.
some emergency help shoveling, please. Only emergency. Let me know. You know, if you have able-bodied people that live at your house or relatives that will help you, you know, get help from them. But if you still need help and you're not able to shovel or something, let me know. That's a new place I just reviewed the other day, so go check them out. But yeah, center actually doesn't look too bad. So let's see, this is our other main artery here, 154th Street. It looks like they have plowed it. And over there.
This is our main downtown
those
street,
buses need
154th. At least with the snow, it hides a lot of the like, you know, stuff that the city neglects. I guess that's one good thing, huh?
Besides the cars, you know, we have the regional bus depot for the area. So I just wanted to show you guys just to check out to see how they've done with the streets. Okay, this is another side street, Turlington. It's so. I mean, you can tell they have plowed it at least once during the day, so that's good. I'm surprised with almost half of the city staff laid off. Thank you again to our public works workers. This is.
Yvette, what are you doing?
Where am I at? Loomis now? I mean, not the best, but could be worse.
Yeah, that one. I don't know if they had plowed that yet. White Christmas. It's so dark. Yeah. Well, actually, no. I think at that time, most of the street lights were working. Sometimes in some areas, we really don't have any lights at all.
Now, unfortunately, we still have people. Poor guy, he's walking the street. I don't blame him because the sidewalks are not shoveled here in downtown Harvey. But let's see, how's that street? Okay. That is. All right. Well, it's looking a lot better than I thought it would, considering the heavy snowstorm, and considering that we have so many layoffs. So, thank you. To the frontline workers. Again, whenever we complain about Harvey stuff, there's Myrtle, there's Ascension down there. I see Ascension Church in the distance. And here is this side of Myrtle. Looks not as well plowed. But yeah, thank you again to all of our city workers. We are calling for Clark to resign. I'd really like to see his 4 alder yes men resign as well. We want a forensic audit. We have our petition, but we're not against the frontline workers. They're the ones that are being penalized, and they're the ones that actually do the work for the city. So thank you. We stand with you. All right, stay safe, everybody, and we'll talk soon. Okay, now I'm on 157.
How many plows? Good question, Eagle. You know what? I don't know.
To Page. So on the left there is one of the mayor's properties. The Teal's 2 properties in a row right here.
Yeah, now watch the street that Clark's 2 houses are on.
Annoying.
And look at all the surveillance.
Yeah, okay. So that's the back of the 2 properties the mayor owns that he had been doing construction on last year without permits, by the way. So we have 1 Harvey police car stationed here. We have 1 very expensive surveillance camera. that's the corner house. I'm gonna let these cars go. Houses.
So you see, look, this is an expensive camera. We got a dummy police car we're paying for, and then he's got, I think, at least 1 or 2 SUVs sitting in front too.
So there's the church, there's the Ingles parking garage. This is kind of empty land that belongs to Ingles. So we got 1 police car sitting empty. Totally empty. We've got these corner homes, which have had...
Right, French. Yeah, I think the only cameras that I've seen, even though according to the contract, the multi-million-dollar contract that Harvey has with this Flock is the name of the surveillance camera company, we're supposed to have almost 100 cameras, surveillance cameras, not body cams. And I've only ever seen cameras outside the 2 homes the mayor owns, and then Napoleon's.
Age or work done to them, and like I said, we never. They were working on that for months with no permits posted. And now, oh, I can see somebody right there. So there is a police officer there.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 2 homes that the mayor owns. We've got 1 vehicle there. We've got 1 police officer there. We've got 2 SUVs parked out front. It looks like the officer there is inspecting or something. He's checking out what's going on. Oops, let's pull over here for 1 second so we can see. Well, we can at least see in the mirror. So he is apparently checking out. Oh, he's probably seeing like whose cars they are, because they're very protective of the mayor's 2 homes. However, we have multiple sources that tell us that they do not see Mayor Clark actually staying in those 2 homes. So, but I just wanted to check. Nevertheless, the street is very well plowed for just your average side street with, a lot of houses on it. You can see.
Surprise, surprise, right?
Yeah. All right. Well.
Yeah. So that was that. Snow in December, not good for the budget. Right, exactly. That's why I'm like, well, that's not good. I was surprised though. I was like, oh man, with the city shut down, the layoffs, are we gonna get anything plowed? So, and then we got more up to see tomorrow morning because we've been getting more snow this evening. So, salut Hubert. Salut Hubert. Say bonsoir. He's cleaning his foot or something. I don't know what he's doing. All right, let me see here. I also wanted to share some events that are going to be happening. Sorry, no, I'm just looking. Hold on, I wanted to verify. Yeah, that's so crazy about these layoffs, though. Oops. Oh, okay, I found the first one. Yes. Oh, hey, on the queue. Yeah, I'm usually up late. I work late a lot. What did you say, Ito? They used to do that here. The last snow, they wait for it to melt. Oh, I don't know. What does that mean? What do you mean by that, Ito? Yeah, are you usually up late too on the queue? I don't always intend to be, but it just usually ends up happening. Sometimes I am just because, that's when I'm not getting a whole bunch of texts and calls and emails. But let me share, which on the queue, you would be welcome to come to this too. I think anyone's welcome. But this Thursday, City of Harvey, the treasurer, Aisha Pickett, fourth ward alderman, Tracy Key, second ward alderman, Colby Chapman, they are hosting this event. Sorry, now you can see it. Oh, Ito, you said in April they wait for the snow to melt before starting the project. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, if it's reasonably warm, I think that that's reasonable. Yeah, save a little money. People just need to not be in such a hurry. And, sometimes it's just people are too much of a hurry. All right, so this will be this Thursday, December 4th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Second Ward office. It's basically at 155th in Lexington. It's the Methodist Church, the real pretty old Methodist church. In the building right just to the north of it, it's their old school building. And so that's where they'll have a lot of uh, Colby Chapman will host meetings there. They'll have other events. So please come out. It says, let's talk about FOIA finances our future. FOIA and Finance Forum. A 2-hour discussion open to all residents. Again, that's this Thursday, 6 to 8 at Lexington and 155th. Okay, so it says residents, but I mean, I'm sure if you're a concerned person or like all McHugh and me and others that like report on local stuff, I'm sure that they wouldn't turn you away. So if it interests you, I'd always rather see more people at these things than fewer. So that will be Thursday. All in the queue. I heard the story you told about a person you terrible. I hope well for him. Oh, yeah. I don't know who it was, but I saw someone shared. Oh, Michael Smith had shared about. I think he said there was a lady in Pose and there was a fire, and so she just lost a whole bunch of stuff. If you do ever have any crisis and you're in, you're relatively close to Harvey, if you want a good place, Restoration Ministries in Harvey, you can look them up online. You can call them, you can visit them in person, but they have a food pantry. They'll deliver food to you if you need it and you can't make it to the pantry. They'll often have like emergency toiletries, but they have a lot of really good stuff. They're a very, very well organized nonprofit in Harvey. Let me take a look to make sure I'm not forgetting though to tell you guys something. Don't you have a Red Cross or something like that? Yes, you can call the Red Cross as well, especially if there's like a fire or something. Yeah, but I just always meant like to mention Restoration Ministries because they're there all the time. You know. All right, so I told you guys about the Thursday meeting, right? Let's see. What else do we have going on this week? Tomorrow night, I have a journalism thing, which I'll on the queue. Actually, you probably would be interested in that too. It's in Hyde Park. Oh yes, I'm sorry, and I forgot one more thing. Did I share it in the historical society page? So the um, Harvey Neighborhood Network. If you this is only for Harvey residents, okay? But there is a meeting Wednesday at 6 p.m. It's at Restoration Ministries. So you are more than welcome to attend. Okay. Oh, look, we have a nice flyer in French or in Spanish and in English. So December 3rd, 6 to 7:30. Basically, I know one of our big initiatives that we're planning on for the spring as a part of this group, the Harvey Neighborhood Network, is to do some cleanups. So that's and I support that. Like beautification is a big thing, and people often will say that should be a priority for Harvey. So if you're 18 and over, you're a resident of Harvey, come out. Meetings are every first Wednesday of the month. So this Wednesday, 6 to 7:30, we will be meeting. So that's that. Okay. And if you are interested in that, the journalism meeting, especially for like investigative journalism, that's going to be tomorrow night in Hyde Park, do let me know. Just send me an email or text or whatever, and I can tell you more information about that, because they may still have some spots left. I'm not sure, but yeah. So the resident advisory board is Wednesday. Thursday evening, 6 to 8 is the FOIA session. We are supposed to have a Harvey City Council meeting on next Monday. But I don't know. The mayor has been in hiding and he canceled all the November meetings. So I don't know if he's going to cancel that one too. Also, next Monday, there will be a 152 school board meeting. Oh. Let's see. Do you have? No, I do not have court tomorrow. No, I don't. I believe Vivian has court next Friday. Although, I mean, certainly my court date will be here before you know it. Mine is supposed to be the 18th. Oh, also, I don't know if I have the like a physical sheet for it, but this Thursday at 3 p.m. There's going to be the objection hearing for Napoleon Harris because he's trying to get on the ballot to be reelected Thornton Township Committeeman. So the objection hearing for that is going to be this Thursday downtown at 69 West Washington at 3 p.m. So I'm going to try to go cover that. But if anyone's interested in that, I just wanted to throw that out there. Did I post something about court? No, not for tomorrow. I don't believe so. But like I will have court on the 18th for Jed. I think Amir has a hearing on the 19th. Oh, is that what you were thinking of when you were mentioning court? Were you thinking about the hearing for the objections like against Napoleon Harris? Maybe that's what you meant. But yeah, that should be interesting because remember I covered the objection hearing that Chris Clark and NAPO were doing against each other. Well, was NAPO doing it against Chris? Anyway, whatever. But I did reach out to Michael Smith, and I asked him because I said, well, why didn't you guys? I said, I feel like that should have been an easy thing to get Napoleon knocked off the ballot because, oh my God, there's been so many different reports over the years about that he lives in Flossmoor. It's really not a secret at all. But he was saying that he felt that the panel, the 3-judge panel, would not admit a lot of certain evidence that they had. Also, I think if you remember that hearing, this was like last winter. They wouldn't make Napoleon. They wouldn't issue him a subpoena, or they wouldn't enforce it, or whatever. But I thought that was stupid. I'm like, but I think they issued a subpoena to like his neighbor. It's like, why don't you just issue a subpoena? Have the person come in if he lives there full time, and he says so under oath, and he does. Boom, it's done. That's not a problem. If he doesn't and he lies under oath, now that could be a problem. So I do agree with that. I think that board, they did something that they shouldn't have, and they covered his butt. So I just want the truth to come out. And like I said, it's no secret that Napoleon does not live. He doesn't live in Thornton Township. He definitely doesn't live in our city of Harvey. Now, he's not the only politician that does not fulfill the residency requirements, but these people should be held accountable. So yeah, don't forget that. That's Thursday as well at 3. Oh, and the complaints about, I guess I could show you guys the, hold on one second. Regarding last week's township meeting and the harassment that I had experienced, so I filed 2 complaints, and I did notify as well the I just sent an email actually to the clerk. Okay. So I can show you guys that email. Is this big enough to see or clear enough to see? Okay, can you guys see that hopefully decently? All right, I can always zoom in a little bit too. So I just sent this over. This is one of the I filed 2 complaints, but this is this is actually the email that I sent to Clerk Nesbitt, okay, at the township. Clerk Nesbitt, I wanted to inform you that I filed 2 complaints regarding recent mistreatment experienced at township board meetings. This bullying of the public and journalists cannot be allowed at public meetings and has no place in government. So if you forgot, last Tuesday's township meeting, I covered that. I gave public comment. I was filming like I will do at public meetings. And then after my public comment, Miss Nina Graham, who is a close advisor to Napoleon Harris, she's also president of the District 205 School Board. She spoke, and she was, addressing me, which is not typical for public comment. It's supposed to be to address the board usually, but whatever. But but she was threatening me and looking at me and making an angry face and pointing a finger at me and telling me to be quiet. I have a question for you after the meet. It was just very threatening, and made up lies about that I said some things that were racist that I never said. And then not only that, but the board didn't do anything about it. They sent sorry, after the meeting ended, then this guy that I've seen with her before, I guess his name is Mike, I found out. So he comes and then accosts me while I'm still filming right after the meeting ends, and it was like, oh, you shouldn't say that, blah, 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 because that was racist, or, and I'm like, sir, I don't know what you're talking about. First of all, I didn't know him, but also I'm like, I didn't say anything racist, so I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, so he got where he was angry, like he looked like he wanted to physically come after me. Then actually Stephanie Wiedemann is the one that called him and like tried to had to stop him to get him to calm down, and step away from me. And then the security guard spends the rest of the time, the evening, trying to chase me out. And I said, "Why are you trying to chase me? Go after those two people. I don't talk to Miss Graham, and I don't talk to the other guy. I don't even know who he is. They're the ones that came after me. Why are you trying to make me leave? I have a right to be here in the film." So yeah, so that's the short of it. The guy who said KP was a crook. Oh, is it the same Mike? Yeah, he's like looks like an older gentleman. I was guessing, like, is he retired? I mean, Miss Graham, I think she's retired too, but she's still a board president. But I have to tell you, there's a lot of shady, that goes on in all these boards. And Napoleon is very close with Miss Graham, and there have been complaints about the 205 school board, and their lack of transparency and poor financial decisions for years. She's been on that board for years. So it just, if they're trying to make it look like they're all trying to cover up where the money's going, they're doing a great job. Because whenever you try to silence people, it's the first thing I think is that now I'm even more suspicious than I was before, because I'm not like all in the queue, and there's some others, they cover the township way up more often than I do. But now that they're going to actually go out of their way to try to silence me, I'm like, oh, hmm, you guys really must be up to something. Like, what are you guys doing with the money that you're so afraid of getting out, to the public? So this bullying of the public and journalists cannot be allowed at public meetings and has no place in government. I would like to know what the board will do to change the climate of the meetings to welcome the public and to actually answer questions about township governance. Because if you'll notice, they usually don't answer questions, or they'll give you like a little tidbit of information, but it doesn't really. We either can't verify it because it's just their words and there's no documentation, or it's just not really an answer. If nothing is changed, the board will be sending the message that it doesn't want public participation and equal access. Allowing intimidation and harassment of the public means that the board condones it. This board promised transparency, accountability, and responsiveness to the public. We have yet to see those. Remember, all these board members, they were yelling and carrying on and stomping and making all these threats and saying, they wanted to get rid of Tiffany because they wanted transparency. They wanted to see where the money was going. They wanted they felt that she wasn't listening to the public. So now they're not showing where the money's going. They're not listening to the public. So what was that show about? What was all that show about, when they were yelling and screaming and complaining about Tiffany? I also have several unanswered questions outstanding from when this new board was sworn in earlier this year. Let me see here. Oh, and then Ms. Alicia Nicole is coming in the chat again. And Ms. Alicia Nicole, as I just responded, I think on YouTube, I can't have a discussion with you because you're just spouting lies and things that are not true. So in order to have a fruitful discussion, you have to be willing to actually talk about facts and what actually happened. So that's why it's hard for us to really have a discussion. So let me see. Alicia says, "Stop lying on Miss Graham." No, I'm not. I'm not lying. They were lying about me, though, what I said. Why didn't you leave if you were threatened? You don't. No one in the public should have to leave a public meeting because the board is allowing members of the public to be harassed. Remember how you were harassed when and others were harassed by Tiffany's people when you guys tried to speak out? Remember how you complained against that? This is the same thing. Yeah. So then again, I would ask you the same thing. So then, when Tiffany's goons were threatening you, why did you stick around? Because you remember the public. All the public has the right to accessing public meetings and public spaces. It doesn't matter if um, the board maybe doesn't like what you're asking or like what you're saying. No one is supposed to be threatened. And definitely the victim, the person being threatened and harassed, should not leave at all. That is not appropriate. If anything, the aggressors should be the ones that should be asked to leave. Miss Graham is an elderly 80-year-old woman with a cane. So, as you'll recall, you complained many times, Ms. Alicia Nicole, about some of Tiffany's supporters who were elderly, as did others, who also were very happy to threaten and go after people. So age has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. What did you think she was going to do to you? I don't know. What all the times you complained about Tiffany and her goons, like what's his name, Mr. William Moore. You used to complain about him a lot. He's also an elderly man. Well, what did you think he was going to do to you? Were you willing to just stay quiet and not complain and just see, how bad it would get? No, you spoke up for yourself and you should have. So that's why I would speak up for me and for anyone else. Oh, sorry. Gosh, I had to close the door. So yeah, that's why I wasn't uh, able to really engage with you, Ms. Alicia. It's nothing personal, but when someone's attacking me and saying lies about me, it's not a good way to have a discussion or a debate. I mean, you really can't because it's based on lies. So, but yeah, so I hope those explanations though helps to clarify it a little bit. And again, remember the whole idea is to create a distraction and to make it about something that is uh, not about. So I think this is a good sort of lesson, I guess. Because Alicia's been coming at me on all the platforms. And I'm sure there's probably some link to the board, or Miss Graham, because again, Napoleon is just like Clark. They don't fight their own battles. They don't want anyone asking questions about where the money's going at the township, but they very rarely want to be seen as attacking anyone. So they'll get other people to do that for them. And that's very common. Um, but yeah, I think it's important to show that everyone in the public should have equal access without being threatened, without being attacked, without being intimidated to public spaces and public meetings. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get heated and people might disagree and everything, but there's a difference between that and then someone getting in your face and wanting to start a physical altercation and saying like, you're racist and you're that. That's not acceptable, because they're actually trying to start a fight, even like a physical fight, not just a verbal altercation. So that's like assault. And if you don't do anything about that, that often will lead to battery. So yeah, that's not cool. Don't worry, Ryan. I don't anybody who like her. Yeah, it's just a shame though, because I did think that I was hoping that more people would, including Alicia, but many people that spoke out against all the abuses that people felt were happening under Tiffany Henyard, that they would have this hold those same standards now for Napoleon Harris and the current township board. And it really appears that there is a double standard. So, because I and many of us, right, disagree with um, the way that Tiffany would often handle things or like try to get people to gang up on people, And no, and I didn't like that. So if people were against that when Tiffany did it, why is it okay for Napoleon to do it? Is it because he's a man? She was a woman? Is it because, as I told people, it's a don't vote for his slate? Because I think that the way they're behaving is showing that this is probably the truth. I think they wanted to take over the finances and really control the money. It wasn't about getting rid of Tiffany so they could fix things. They just wanted to control all the budget of the township. Because remember, the township has a pretty fairly, decent sized budget. No, most of our tax bill does not go to the township, but it's still a decent portion. And it's a very powerful political board. So that's why it's very important that whoever is running the township needs to be held to the highest standards of accountability. So let me keep reading here. So I have several unanswered questions. One, when will the forensic audit be done? This was voted on under Tiffany Henyard, and it's still not done. The excuses the lawyer is giving don't add up. Pending federal investigations have nothing to do with getting an immediate forensic audit, because on the meeting on the 18th, the lawyer responded to me and was very, Steve Ladizinski, was unnecessarily, again, combative with the public, which you're not supposed to do. They serve us. We don't serve them. They serve us. And he was like, well, you weren't there. You missed it. But people already reported on the finances, and, plus it's on the website. So remember, I did a video with that. We looked on the website, and I'm like, these aren't really audits or financial reports. These are figures that are put on paper by people who work for the township. But I mean, I could write anything down. I could say, I made $1 million today, and type up a report and give it to you or post it online. Does that mean that I actually did? No, we need receipts. We need bank statements. We need, you have to have some proof. And then the lawyer, Steve Ladizinski, also said, oh, well, we can't find a firm to do a forensic audit because of the pending federal investigations. Who cares? That doesn't have anything to, the one thing doesn't have anything to do with the other. Let me see. You have made comments that can be deemed racist. No, actually, I didn't. And again, if someone's making up lies about me and what I said, I don't need to defend myself against things that aren't true, that I never did or said. It's so interesting that you're not responding at all to all the injustice and the racism that is coming from this board. So that's my concern. I never went and filed a police report against anyone little. Okay, so does that mean that other people shouldn't file police reports because they were attacked or harassed? That was your choice. Yeah, I haven't lied. Can you see that? Again, you've already said several lies just in this short conversation. Can I say the same? Yes, I have not lied. So again, like, are you working for Napoleon? Like, what's the issue here? Why are you not responding to the racism and the harassment and the lack of transparency from this board? That's the real scandal here. What are you covering up for this board? That would be my question for Ms. Alicia Nicole. What are you covering up for them? Idol says, Nicole, go to bed. It's too late for you. But no, seriously, like, because I love discussions with people, but like, you're not using facts, so it's like you can't talk when people aren't. Yeah, and that argument again, but that has nothing to do. Again, that is a distraction. We're talking about the township. We're not talking about that other school district. There's a lot of corruption. I can't get to every meeting and cover every little thing. Doesn't mean that I supported that person. Why are you making it about race? And why aren't you talking about what this board is not doing? But anyway, just listen to more of the complaints and you'll hear. What is the new township tax levy for 2026, and how does that compare to the 2025 levy? Number 3, what's the township board doing to actively, not passively or not avoiding talking about it, actively reduce expensive, cut administrative costs, because the administrative bloat right now at the township is horrible. It has not improved at all compared to under Tiffany. And we don't even really know exactly how bad the bloat is because we don't have the receipts. We don't know the receipts that people yelled and shouted and carried on, and Alicia Nicole was one of them. And so, we need the receipts. We need to know where our money's going. This isn't fair, Tiffany. And now they're just giving this board a free pass. So my question is why? What do you get from it, Alicia Nicole and others that are defending the non-transparency of this board? How do you benefit? These questions need to be answered and they're legit. What is the board doing to lower the township property tax rates to ease the burden on residents? They haven't talked about that at all. The most information we got was Napoleon said in one meeting, "Oh, the tax rate, don't worry, it's not being increased." Okay, so does that mean that every year, you increase the tax rate, let's say by 3%, so you're just gonna do another increase of the same amount, or is it a 0% rate tax increase? And ideally, I want to see the taxes decreased. So sorry, 1 second. Let me let puppy out. Let me let puppy out. He's making noises here. You need to go outside, babies. You need to go outside, babies. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I just had to let the pups out. He had to let the pups out. Okay, let's see here. So yeah, we need to know about the property tax rate. That's very important. Let's see. So Nicole is racist. Well, I would say yes, because anybody that is supporting the oppression of, of anybody, but particularly, I do get very concerned and protective over our minority residents because I think someone has to speak up for them. And yeah, you could say that this board currently its policies of high taxes and lack of transparency and accountability is a form of racism. It's oppressing people, and many of whom are minorities in Thornton Township, but not only minorities, but many people are seriously saying they may have to sell their homes because the property taxes are getting so high. So the township board has to address that. They cannot not, especially after all the big stink they put up about Tiffany and how they even voted for a forensic audit under her. And now all of a sudden they can't get one. The white superintendent made more than anyone in the Southland. Why were you concerned about those finances? Like I said, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. And he left, so he's gone. I was actually just talking with someone about that who lives in Riverdale. So they got rid of that guy, which is great. You know who we didn't get rid of? You know who's still making way too much money though is Napoleon Harris. He makes more than $200,000. We don't really know exactly how much. As township supervisor, he has a decent salary as being in the Senate, the Illinois State Senate. And then he has all of his pension or all the income from when he was an NFL player, plus his restaurant income. I think that's more than enough. I don't think he needs to make that much. So yeah, that the superintendent you were talking about, Ms. Alicia Nicole, you're right. What he was making was crazy, but he left, so he's gone. I was proud. I think residents in Riverdale spoke up and made a stink, and he's gone. That's good. That's what we want. Not bogus police reports. You have a pattern of that. Again, that's a lie, though. So you see what I'm saying? Like you're lying, and you're distracting from the issues. The issues are, where is the money and where are our public resources going? And you know that because you were one of many people that were yelling and shouting and screaming and demanding accountability from Tiffany, which you're right to do. But you can't do that for Tiffany and then give Napoleon a pass. I mean, if you want to get into isms, we could say that that is very sexist of you and of others, right? Tiffany was a Black woman that many people said, hey, why are you guys holding her to a higher standard than a lot of these Black men, or just male politicians in general? So, I mean, that's another ism that we should be concerned about, right? The whole point is everyone needs to follow the same rules. No one should get an exception. Otherwise, why have the rules? And that's what this board is not doing. They're not following the same standards that they claimed to hold Tiffany Henyard to, and it's a problem, especially when our residents are getting taxed out of their homes. This is very, very a serious crisis. So, but yeah, no, I've never filed a bogus police report. So again, that's just a lie trying to discredit me. You're the only racist I choose to respond to. No, I'm not a racist. Mm-mm. Just because you call someone racist doesn't mean that that's the truth. I'm not covering up anything now. You are spreading lies. See, more lies. It's chaos wherever you go. No. Mm-mm. Again, but I mean, you could keep lying. It's not Nicole's big mad, right? It's all a distraction. Do you see how this works? They get people. It's never the people on these boards. They always get other people for them, just like Mayor Clark uses Jed, right? And actually, I was going to say, I was curious, Miss Nicole, because I thought you were supporting Jed, who has publicly said that he is opposing Napoleon and trying to expose the misdeeds of this board. But now you're defending this board. So do you not support Jed anymore? That was a question that I was thinking in my head. I'm very confused about that. Because like I said, Jed, for whatever reason, because I don't know why he does what he does and I don't trust him, he lies. But he definitely publicly, he's opposing Napoleon. And in this case, Jed would agree with me. So are you opposing Jed now? I don't understand where you stand on that. I'm trying to get a real estate deal like you. No, again, it has nothing to do with that. You have no money, Nicole. Hidro, if you say so, you're nothing. I could never be mad at a nothing. I think Nicole needs a friend. I have more than you. That's all that matters, Hidro. Now I'm not responding to you anymore. You miserable, you know what. Well, that's not very nice though, because you kept posting after I blocked you on Facebook and other places, then you kept finding other places to post to complain. And you're doing the same thing to Idro now. But actually, I was very professional and polite with you. Idro is just being, like a little bit of the snark that you're using, he's responding with. And you're telling him, I'm not responding to you anymore, you miserable, you know what? Like, this doesn't make any sense. But I want everyone to take note. This is what these boards do. It's called distract, deny, delay. Distract from where the money's going. Deny you're doing anything wrong. And delay. Do anything you can to delay the release of the information, because the longer they can delay it, the more they can, steal money or whatever they're doing, which we don't know exactly what's going on because they won't release the receipts. So, no, Ryan, you sir are a racist. In my opinion, in the opinion of many, that's good night. I'll leave it to your ears. No, the opinion of many others. Who? And opinions are like buttholes, Miss Alicia Nicole. Everybody has one. You can call me a racist till you're blue in the face, but actually, the policies that you support of this board, this horrible, negligent, hypocritical board, they're racist. So if you really want to go around calling people racist, then maybe we should just call you one, because you're obviously okay. As do you remember there was a Black resident that I think it was like a few meetings ago, but she spoke up at the township and she said, "We got to do something about these property taxes, you guys, because I may have to sell my house." So you're ignoring her. She's a Black woman. This board is ignoring her and others that have complained and said, "Hey, we're really concerned. What are you guys doing with the money? We can barely afford our property taxes." So whether they're Black, Latino, white, whatever, you're agreeing with this board. You're ignoring the residents' concerns. How is that not racist? You never confronted him. I wonder why. Again, I don't know what you're talking about. You still here, Nicole? You said good night. Why you say? Right. Racist. No, but we can start calling you racist Nicole if you want, a racist Alicia, because just because you say it doesn't mean it's not true. You are supporting people that are taking advantage of all of us taxpayers, and that does include our minority taxpayers. So if you're not speaking up for transparency and to help people who are drowning in high property tax bills all over the township, if you're not speaking up for solutions to the problem, then you're part of the problem. I definitely support Jed. That's why you're mad. I'm not mad. So if you support Jed, though, Miss Alicia Nicole, I know I said I wasn't going to respond, but since you're here. So why are you defending Napoleon Harris? You do know that your buddy Jed, Mr. Scammer himself, you know that he says he doesn't like Napoleon. He's opposing him and he's fighting against him. So I don't know why you're defending him and this board. Oh, maybe it's for Mary Avant because has supported Jed, despite all the horrible things he's done. That could be. Still here, Nicole. Idro says, I sure did, and now you're mad. I was never disrespectful with you. That's your victim. Actually, you were. You lied, which Ms. Alicia Nicole, anybody, just like Miss Graham, if you lie about someone, trying to discredit them and trying to encourage other people to attack them, that is extremely disrespectful. Just so you know that. That's extremely disrespectful. And you deflect, yeah. No, but I think you remind me of Trump, though. You know what they say about like people that are like Trump or narcissist is that often, usually accusations are confessions. So typically, someone that is trying to hide something will accuse others of what they themselves are doing. So if we interpret that, that makes sense. So you're calling me mad. That means you're angry. You said you were never disrespectful with me. And that's also right too. I was never disrespectful with you. So if we just reverse it, actually, then it becomes true. That's your victimhood. Not mine, but that's your victimhood. And you deflect. You deflect. Yeah. You definitely know about buttholes and opinions. Yeah. See, and again, and there you go. So that is being what do you call it? Yeah, that's like a rude homophobic comment, just like your buddy Jed does, making fun of people because of their sexuality and yeah, that's disgusting. So the sewers are frozen where you sleep. Let's continue. Number 4. Where are current bank account statements, credit card statements, invoice copies, grant documentation and receipts, salaries, wages of all township workers, and other basic financial info for the township? Remember, this is just basic. We're not talking about anything inappropriate or, crazy. Why is all that being hidden? Why won't the board reinstate the image ordinance that was enacted under the last supervisor to save money and to stop illegal electioneering? So every time you see, like an event, a township event, or any board, right? But we're just talking about the township right now. So, when you see the bingo, remember how they said they repealed that ordinance, which was a good ordinance that said you cannot use taxpayer money to put your image on events. Like, this is not that's illegal electioneering, really, is what it is. I think, where you're campaigning using taxpayer money. So saying that's fine, you want to put your face on it, use your own money. They voted that down when the new board got in. And they were saying, oh, but it's okay because, like, on the bingo flyer and everything, it shows everybody's face. Well, who cares? And then they sent out a flyer. You remember the thing they sent out with the highway commissioner, Antoine Russell. They were like, oh, and he did all these good things. And one of them was I think he was paid like about 20,000, or they paid about 20,000 something to renovate his office. It's like, wow. So now, like, trying to do illegal electioneering, to show off his face and all this stuff what do you call it? Yeah, legal election, promoting him like free political advertising. And then, like, wasted all that money on his office. So this board's crazy, you guys. They're crazy. And last question, why is the board allowing the supervisor to make over $200,000 when he earns multiple public salaries and private income? Doesn't the board view this as a slap in the face of residents who are overwhelmed with high property tax bills? The board has never spoken up against that salary. Remember how Mary Avant and Valeria Stubbs and even Alicia Nicole, everybody was so outspoken against all this stuff when Tiffany was doing it. And now that this board's doing it, they're quiet. And not only are they quiet, but now it's gotten to the next level where now they're attacking people who are trying to hold the board accountable, making up lies about them, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I sent that to Ms. Nesbitt, the clerk. We'll see if she responds. I don't necessarily expect to, at this point, after all these months of being ignored by the residents and taxpayers, by the board ignoring residents and taxpayers, I don't expect answers, unfortunately. But I know some people. I think they've gotten some stuff via FOIA. Let me see. Okay. Superintendent. Why are you worried about me and another guy's relationship? Are you envious? Huh? No. That's nothing about. I don't know what you're talking about. Again, you just make stuff up, Alicia Nicole. Reine, je pense que Nicolas a sur toi. Oh, tu penses? Peut-être, c'est vrai. It's a lesson in disrespect. Again, I think if we just take all these statements and then make them about you, then they're probably more true. I know Trump is secretly your hero, actress. Oh, so really? So you like Trump? Oh, you said butthole's not me. I'm gonna say Nicole's still here. Right. You see, Idro, I'm trying to just talk about the township finances, and these people are obsessed. They're obsessed with me and anybody that wants to hold people accountable. It's obsessive. All right, guys, I think that's about it. I just wanted to see if there's anything else. We still haven't gotten any answers about that company, Turlington Homes, that the last public meeting we had, the mayor and his 4 alder yes-men voted to give those properties to that company that was just started in October. That's super, super shady, you guys, too. We need answers on that. And we need answers for our city workers. I mean, it's. Can you imagine, especially having to go through the holidays? Like these people, it's not like they're being paid. They're being on paid leave. Like they're not getting any pay and they're not getting any benefits. The mayor is totally MIA, nowhere to be found. And I mean, it's crazy. Like how are we even going to? If I were these city workers, I'd probably be looking for jobs elsewhere. How are we even going to maintain workers when they don't know when the next time they might be laid off? I mean, this is crazy, you guys. So please do share, sign and share the petition. Um, I'm sure the mayor is going to rehire his friend. I don't know what's going to happen. It's really scary and it's really inappropriate. So please sign that petition. We want to get up to 50 signers. I think we're like at 32 right now. And then oh, and Colby is also, I know she has a few groups I think that she's bringing in to do a Christmas giveaway on December 20th as well. I did want to mention that. It's not this week, but um otherwise, like I said, tomorrow night there's a journalism cover, covering government, basically. Thing in Hyde Park. Wednesday night there's the Harvey Neighborhood Network meeting. Thursday night is the FOIA and finance meeting in Harvey. Thursday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon downtown is the objection hearing uh, regarding Napoleon Harris. Oh, and I don't know if you guys realize, but Monet Wilson, I was going to support her running for township committeeman, but she did announce officially she decided to just be independent, to part ways with the Democratic Party, which I do not blame her because she has been fighting immense corruption and abuse under Mayor Thaddeus Jones, who's also a state rep, and the Democratic Party has not backed her up at all. They've left her out to dry at every chance they've gotten. So so she's not eligible to be in that race. So as far as I know, it's just Stephanie Wiedemann and Napoleon Harris running for township committeeman. Um, However, Monet Wilson is still running for state rep against Thaddeus Jones. So please, everybody back her. Let's give her all the support that we can. I still want to interview you. She should still get all the hard questions that everybody else gets, right? No one gets a free pass, but as far as I see, I mean, she would be a much better state rep than Thaddeus Jones. He is just a bully. He's horrible. Just like Clark and Jedediah and all these other people. Probably very hard to run independent in this area. Yeah, it can be. It can definitely. But I'm hoping that we can get people. I'm just glad she's running as an independent, honestly, and not a Republican, because I don't think either of the big parties in this country, whether it's federal or local elections, for the most part, like they're not. They don't care about people. They just care about big corporate donors. And as long as they can get in power and have money and influence, that's all they care. It's pretty bad. So new season of Stranger Things is out. I just started watching that. So if you guys check that out, that's kind of interesting. And I think that's about it. I don't know. Did I forget anything, Ito? But I'll do some others. I know Stephanie will be happy. Um, one of the one of my fans, because she mentioned something today where she was like, "You need to make a video." I said, "Okay, I promise. I am. I'm working on it." It's just been kind of busy lately. So, but yeah, thanks for joining me, you guys, and yeah, come out. The next township meeting. Sorry, that's now knowing how these cowards are. They'll probably do like a pull a Chris Clark, and I bet you they'll cancel the December township meeting. For the holidays. Watch, they won't. But they can't cancel the meetings forever. If we have to wait until January, to come back, or February. We have got to get more people to come out to these township meetings. And you know what people need to do? Don't do anything different than you did with Tiffany. Just ask the same questions and bring that same energy. Why does this board get a free pass? That's not fair. So I'll say December 16th is the next township meeting. So please attend if you can. Put that in your calendars. Tuesday, December 16th. If they cancel, you know what? They cancel, but we're not going to forget. We'll go to whenever the next meeting. They can't cancel meetings forever. And the same goes for Clark. You can't cancel meetings forever either. There has to be some sort of law that says that you can't do that. Actually, let me Google that right now because that's going to bug me. Let's see if I can find anything. Oh, okay. Google just quotes Alma. Now we know that. Okay,
There's
yeah.
no wealth but life.
We have
Alma.
Oops. Sorry, what are you doing, Google? No. That's weird. The Open Meetings Act. Yeah, we have a right to advance notice of meetings. And we have a right to attend all meetings where public business is discussed. Public bodies must post. Google here is saying that rules for meeting cancellations vary by municipality. True. You know, as long as I'm on this, sorry, I'll go to another site and ask another thing. Let me log in. Did I miss anything? Okay, no, I didn't miss anything. Okay, this says if you have a commission form of a city, maybe we should just go back to that instead of these wards, you know? Harvey used to have commissioners, which means that, you know, you don't have people for geographic areas of the city. They're just all at large, you know, the board members. But it says if you have a commission form, then you have to have meetings at least twice each month. Then there's another law, though, it says if you don't have a commission form of government, the council may prescribe by ordinance the times and places of the council meetings and how special meetings are called. Under that setup, there's no fixed statewide requirement for a minimum number of meetings per month or year. It depends on what the city's own ordinance provides. So if the city's municipal code says we meet monthly, bi-weekly, or as needed, that is what controls, so long as notice rules under OMA are followed. Okay. Let's take a look to see if we can find anything in the Harvey City Code that says anything about that. Oh, this is interesting. So the municipal code says regular meetings of the city council shall, which is like required, right? Shall be held on the second and fourth Monday of each and every calendar month during the year. It also provides for special meetings. Okay, yeah. Skipping all meetings in a given month could violate that portion of the code unless there's an official legal rescheduling under the special meeting / holiday clause. If the mayor cancels all November meetings and does not call special meetings or reschedule the regular ones, the city would not be in compliance with its own municipal ordinance governing frequency. I guess then what would we do about it then? Yeah, if you have a holiday, that's one thing, but no, it's not a holiday thing. The council could pass a new ordinance changing how often or when meetings are held, though I guess my question now would be to figure out what could we do to force the meetings. Like, we have to have meetings. Like, what the heck's going on in our city? How can we be a city in crisis and then the mayor just cancel every meeting in a month? And like I said, it's looking like that might be that way for December too. It says you can file an OMA complaint. Okay. Yeah. And unfortunately, they oftentimes they don't really enforce it like I think they should. Oh, demand a special meeting. Aldermen can force one under Illinois law and Harvey's code. If any two aldermen, in some cities 3, sign a written request to the clerk, a special meeting must be held. The mayor cannot veto or block this. Huh. There's also a mandamus action in circuit court. Huh. Maybe we could do that. Injunction or declaratory judgment. A resident can also seek a court order declaring that the cancellation of meetings violated Harvey's municipal code and the city must hold meetings as required. Similar to mandamus, however you say that, mandamus.
but gives the court broader flexibility. Ethics or misconduct complaint against the mayor. Very interesting, you guys. Okay. Because, canceling public meetings, and this is a good point, it could fall under OMA violation as well, as far as using cancellation as a way to evade lawful public process, like avoiding transparency, avoiding public comment. He doesn't want to hear from people. He doesn't want any attention on himself. He just wants the state bailout. How do they even pay bills if we don't have a meeting for a month? That's what I want to know too. Oh, okay. I guess the code says special meetings may be called by the mayor or on the call of such number of aldermen as may be authorized by law. The general state level statute for many Illinois cities provides that the mayor or any 3 aldermen may call special meetings. We only have 2 that would really do that. But you can still file an OMA complaint, a complaint with the court. Okay. Well, look at that. We learned some things. Yeah. Who is to enforce the code? Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm like, what will we do? Bills are stacking up. I don't know how, because every city council meeting, we're supposed to have 2 a month minimum. And that's when they vote on paying the bills. So that means Mayor Clark is just back there being like, whatever, I'll give this person money, this person I won't. I'll lay off 4 more firefighters. It's like, he can't do that unilaterally. Well, we're going to keep looking into that, guys. But for now, I'm going to sign off. So, bonne nuit, or bonne continuation de soirée.
whatever, wherever you are at, if you're on the West Coast, and we will chat soon. Thanks for joining me, Idro. You kept me company. I didn't know if anybody will be up this late. And for the rest of you, if you catch this, whenever you watch, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I have to put my Patreon link up because I did make a Patreon. I would like to really start, raising some funds so that I can do more of this work and spend more time on it. It's very time consuming, but we do need local reporting. As Ms. Alicia Nicole pointed out with the thing with that superintendent, it's like I definitely am happy they got rid of him, and I did not support that crazy salary, but there's just so much corruption to report on. It's hard to keep up. Bonne nuit, good night, racist Nicole. Oh my goodness. Okay, bonne nuit. Au revoir.